Shalom, I'm going to do a video, like I said, on icons, which are images that go back to different parts of Asia Minor, Europe, during the medieval time period, or the Dark Ages. When you look up Dark Ages, it's also known as the Middle Ages or the medieval times. If you go to Google, basically it says that this was the time that things were diminished. It wasn't a lot of history, and the reason why they say that, because they were Esau was talking about themselves because they were not in power. That's Revelation, the 20th chapter, speaks about the angel casting them into the bottomless pit, and a chain, shackling them up with a chain that represents the time period of the so-called Byzantine Empire, which was for 1,000 years. If you look it up, the elder of GMS, Dallas, did a video on that, and he typed in, I believe he went to Google or Wikipedia, and he typed in how long was the Byzantine rule, and it said 1,000 years, exactly 1,000 years. It was not exactly 1,000 years. It was a little bit more than 1,000 years when Constantine the First, or Constantine the Great, which was an Israelite, because remember, the Israelites are scattered literally throughout the whole world. When you talk about the kingdom of Israel, they were on this the Western Hemisphere, on the other side of the world, and this goes back to about 150 years. I gotta actually go and give you the exact time period. It was about 150 years, maybe 125, maybe about 150 years before the Babylonians took down the kingdom of Judah. It was the Assyrians that took down the kingdom of Israel during the time of King Hoshea. And what they did was, they had made a pact among themselves, the kingdom of Israel, to go to a new land, and that land was the Americas, Canada, the U.S., Central and South America. So all those people, that's why we say, you people of Indian and Negroid descent, of North, Central, and South America, are the Israelites, are the lost Israelites. And at the same time, you had Israelites scattered all up in Europe. That's why when you read about the Apostle Paul, he made his 3 journeys. Actually, it was 5 when you go into it, but the major journeys were 3 of them. And he went throughout Asia Minor, which is north of Jerusalem, going up into Greece and different parts of Europe. It speaks about the Ephesians, which is in Europe, Asia Minor, the Church of Corinth, which is in Asia Minor, which is in Greece. Rome, because he wrote a whole book, or letters, which became a book called the Book of Romans, because he was speaking to the Israelites up in Rome. He didn't go up there to speak to, or teach Edomites. So when Israel was scattered throughout those various lands outside of Jerusalem, outside of Israel, some of them lost the fact that of who they were as Israelites. And that's why we say that the Byzantine Empire, we know that there were so-called black people, even scholars will tell you that. And truthful scholars will tell you that they were not so-called white people, they were so-called black people, which were Israelites, which are the scattered Israelites that Paul spoke to. And that's why they knew about the Messiah. Anyway, this is the book. This is the book I'm going to go into: Icons and Saints of the Eastern Orthodox Church. Now, if you see on the cover. Oh, by the way, Vocab Malone and this guy Abu did a video not even a week ago going into the Black Madonna, and Abu basically said that the Israelites, you know, say that they found this secret. Well, it was a secret. It was a secret to Israelites. It wasn't a secret to Europeans. It wasn't a secret to the Bible historians, the Edomite Bible historians. It was a secret to us until we found it. It was a secret to us. And Esau made it that way because Esau didn't say go to so-called black churches and put that image up. That's the way Mary looked like. No, they allowed you to put up a white image. Anyway, in this book, I'll show you the cover. They lighten this image up. That's supposed to be the Madonna and Child. And I got this book for like $24 at the Met, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which I got to go back there and do another video on that. Anyway, what I'm going to do is, there's another book I have, and I got this at a dollar store, The Passion of Christ. And this is nothing but Renaissance art. Now, I mentioned Renaissance in the previous videos. If you look up the word Renaissance or Renaissance art, Renaissance means, from the Latin, it basically means born again, rebirth. So Esau established this thing called a Renaissance art, where they painted images of themselves, so-called white people, as being the Messiah, as being Moses, as being King David, as being the angels and so forth, as being the Israelites. So that was that deception in Revelation, the 20th chapter, that they shall deceive the nations no more. So in this book, it's a picture book full of pictures, and every picture in here is, got to get my glasses. Every picture in here is a so-called white person, and they give you the date. Let me just find one here. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, this one here was set up, painted in 1592. So we're talking about almost the 1600s, or the 16th century, because this is when we already went down. So they came up in there, they destroyed as many so-called black images as they could, and they put up images of themselves. So here it is right here. You see, it's supposed to be the Messiah in the middle, and you got angels above him, and you got the people, which are supposed to be Israelites, and if you notice, they're all so-called white people. This was painted in 1592. That's the rebirth. That's that short period that they're going to rule. This one here is a famous one. This is painted by Leonardo da Vinci, and it's the Last Supper. The Last Supper, circa 1494 to 98, so 1500, 2 years shy of 1500. So they were in the power seat, and if you see, notice, here it is, the Last Supper, and this is nothing but the Bourgeois family. The guy in the middle that's supposed to be the Messiah is Caesar Borgia. Then you see a guy, a couple of people off to the either side with a bald head that's supposed to be his father, Rodrigo Borgia, which was Pope Alexander VI of Rome at that time, or out of Spain. Then you see his sister on the side of him, a woman on the side of him, because the 12 disciples were supposed to be all men. So you actually have a woman. I believe that's on the right side of your screen, if I'm not mistaken. There's a woman, that's Lucrezia Borgia, in which Caesar Borgia used to have sex with his own sister. And then there's another man in there that is his brother, and there's a couple other images of him. So it's really 4 people: Caesar Borgia, Rodrigo Borgia, his sister, and his brother. I forget his brother's name. Somebody could put it in the comment section. And I believe he killed his own brother because he was older. So he was going to get the spot if his father had died. And see, Edomites and you simple ass Jakes, you venerate these pictures, but these are not the people of the Lord. This is okay. This painting goes back to 1632. And this is supposed to be the Lord washing the disciples' feet. And if you notice, they're all so-called white people, which is a goddamn lie. So this here is a secret that we found out about. Every image in this book are of so-called white people. Okay, this one, Gori Sino, that's the painter, and this was circa 1620. And you see Caesar Borgia, or so-called white man, and you see an angel on one side. So they deceived. This is the last time they're going to deceive the nation. And it said, and cause them to worship the image. And Revelation, the 13th chapter, is not talking about Caesar Borgia. It's talking about the system, the Roman system. So this is clearly a lie, man. But when we bring this out, you know, we're labeled as a hate group. We're a truth group. Anyway, I'm going to show you a couple. I'm not going to make this long. Bear with me for a minute. And it has to be at least 1,000 images, icons rather, in this here book. I'm going to give you a couple of good ones. Bear with me for a minute. Okay, here's a good one. An icon. It's a small print, so I can hardly even see it. But this is before the so-called white man came into power. This is page 39 of this book. So this was a secret. The secret was during the Middle Ages, during the Dark Ages, this is when Jake ruled that particular part of Europe. Find another good one. Okay, this is you can see the men. I guess these are the 12 on the top of the picture there, or the painting. They're so-called black people, Israelites. Here's another one. It's hard to really make this out because the print is so small. Well, this is entitled The Creation and the Fall. So I guess that goes back to Adam and Eve. And how they were created, and they went against the Most High, and the angel banished them from the garden eastward in Eden. And you can see that they are so-called black people. So was we supposed to notice too, Abu? Show you a couple more, then I'll close it. And these icons go back to the 1200s, the 1100s. Bear with me for a minute. I mean, this is something you brothers and some of you sisters that been in this thing for years, you already know this. This is for newer people, actually. Okay, let me see what this is all about. Okay, gospel, epistles, and church feast. And you can see the one individual has an afro. This is when the Esau, the so-called white man, was on the bottom. Hope you can see it. You can see the afro. So not so-called white people. So now if white people ruled the 1100s, the 1000s, the 900s, the 800s, the 1200s, the 1100s, the 1300s, why would so-called white Europeans, white people, paint pictures all up and through different parts of Europe as so-called black people? Well, that didn't happen. It was so-called black people that painted images of themselves and of their foreparents, which were Israelites, which are the saints. I'll give you a couple more and then I'll close. Oh, this is a good one. This is the Transfiguration. And you see our Lord, he's a so-called black man. You see Elijah on one side and Moses on the other. And you see the three bowing down at his feet, which is Peter, James, and John. And you can see that they're all so-called black people, Israelites. Our Lord was an Israelite of the tribe of Judah. The Apostle Paul was an Israelite of the tribe of Benjamin. You see it? Anyway, with that, I'm gonna close it. I'm going to say shalom. Oh, if you can get this book, you can try to look this book up. Icons and Saints of the Eastern Orthodox Church. Shalom.